now take this forward a notch higher to talking about strengthening cybersecurity posture and preparedness of states. And joining us for this fiery fireside chat, we have with us, please put your hands together for Mr. Amit Sharma, IAS Special Secretary, ICT, Government of Mizoram.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Mr. Amit Sharma, to join us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
So in next 15 minutes, and this is a very unique session actually. In general, you will not find this kind of session here. States in India are playing a very vital role in overall elevating the digitization journey of India. The bottom-up approach, you will see how the digitization is happening, the CSCs, citizen-centric platforms which are evolving. It's happening a lot at the state level. You can consider two things: a lot of enforcement and a lot of development agenda is being executed at the state level. And sir is coming from Mizoram, a very critical state for us, being the border sharing state and northeastern state. It's like a prominent one. A lot of initiatives are being taken over there. So we'll directly come to you, sir, to hear from you how the digitization is shaping up in Mizoram specifically and largely at the northeastern states. If you can share your thoughts and your vision on that.
It's a very prominent question and a thing which is to be interpolated and how things are shaping up, because I believe DSCI is doing a fantastic job so far as the spread of message regarding global message regarding preparedness of India is concerned. And I can make out that cyber security has become a major concern over a couple of decades, if not much. And now we have started, the moment we entered new millennium. So the spread of internet was so thick very fast, and we also caught up. Usually in civil services, people don't have the inclination or thing towards pushing these reforms. But of late, I think it was a sheer coincidence when the present regime in the union came, and around that time only, I thought it is too very important, and I also went for some kind of specialization in eGov for 1 year on study leave. And from there on, I was always on the mission, I can share with you on the dais only, this is my third consecutive state as IT secretary. I was telling you and the august audience also, I have had the opportunity of handling the critical most states so far as cyber reforms and security is concerned, starting with Jammu and Kashmir, being IT secretary there, then Ladakh. Every state has its own challenge. And now finally, the current role in Mizoram. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The states are preparing their own ways in handling this kind of challenge. And like other states, Northeast and all, Mizoram is also doing its own way. We are directly in touch with the NCRP. We are directly, all the complaints, have to go ultimately there to get immediate solutions, especially the financial frauds which are happening, which is a major area of concern. And at the same time, we are getting average 8 to 12 cyber crime related complaints daily. And I'm happy to say that we have exclusively set up a cyber police station in Mizoram, in Aizola capital, so as to make people understand. And this kind of thing is very, very common, like digital arrest is the latest thing. This is big fraud which is happening. Apart from that, in our side, Northeast, people are being lured through gaming platforms which are used for cyber frauds. Then we have impersonation. Even unfortunately, cyber sexual assaults are happening. So many things are happening, but I think we are preparing our people on a regular basis. And I have a lot of case studies in which I can make you guys understand. But in a nutshell, we are pushing through with CDAC support. We are trying to build up our softwares are getting as robust as they can be to see this thing that we are in a safe zone. And Honeypot was deployed in collaboration, I already told, with CDAC. To prevent cyber attacks. And we also appointed in my directorate of ICT, the CIO, Chief Information Officer, as CISO. So we are going in a big way, and the cell is operational 24 into 7 cyber crime cell, and they act, immediately, instantaneously. Directions are crystal and clear about it. And cyber forensic lab was also established in ISOL. So we are also trying to address this issue by conducting regular awareness camps across the board, like with the help of police department, our department, and Mizoram University. Cyber crime related courses are being run. So we are trying to make people aware. And also I want to add one thing, like 2017, I first time visited ISOL. That time in a smart city conference. And there I happened to bump into a person who had come to do some work relating to cryptocurrency in 17. So what I'm trying to tell you, they have been trying all ends out in Northeast, and especially in the vulnerable belts like I told you previously, JK and Ladakh. But we are trying to come up with all kinds of pressures and trying to push through. And with DSCI and all, I think you will have a larger role in times to come.
For sure, sir. And thank you for opening up such a number of threats which are quite pertinent and important to look at. I'll definitely jump into the cybercrime perspective and the awareness, which are very important to look at. But before that, if I take your mind share on how the state is looking at protecting the infrastructure. I know we have done some study and we realize NIC Mizoram State Center, they have one security division which is working 24/7 to prevent. Even like a CERT, it's releasing a lot of advisories, threat intelligence, and continuously supporting organizations if they are facing any challenge in terms of attacks and all, right? So threat handling, which is a pertinent thing. This is like one example, and I know under your leadership, a lot of things are happening. Can you share like what all those triggering points where you are working on and how you are going to protect this larger infrastructure?
Very pertinent question, and you're absolutely right, Atul. You must be traveling across and seeing places. You know, we have a typical issue so far as our states are concerned, largely in India. As I told you, handling now third state as IT secretary consecutively, I am finding that there is still little bit of gap in terms of infrastructure compliance. Although, let me share with you, like in Mizoram, as you said, my team and I see, and I constantly review it. Let me tell you, wherever I have remained, I have been constantly reviewing cyber security related equipment, our preparedness, our resilience, and I try to ensure to rope in all the top level agencies in the country, be it like DSCI or for that matter certain like Sanjay ji was there yesterday. So we are trying to push in our own way, and even we have our all networks and server equipment are well protected with ISO 27001. 213, they are compliant. So we have made them best possible, which are available in India as of now. But I know this cyber crime level has a different ball game. As our Honorable Prime Minister has also mentioned at times, like those people are ready with their strategies, who are working in the dark web, are unfortunately, we have designated a few places in the country, some belts of Haryana, somewhere in Jharkhand, Jamtara kind of movie also came up. So, those things have also been a challenge, and especially in Northeast, we are in between some international borders, especially strategically located. So I am equally concerned, and my Chief Minister, my ICT Minister, they are always sensitized. They are organizing workshops, and they are spreading the message across, and they are helping our cause. So I am sure in times to come, Mizoram will come up as one of the best cyber security resilient states amongst all northeastern states.
Oh, that's great to hear. Actually, in cyber security in general, the narrative that we are talking about, how cyber security is moving. So from typical assessment driven to resilient state of cyber security that we're talking about, and the same narrative you are talking from the state side, great to hear that. And also it's important that leadership is taking that step and getting sensitized about it. So all those things are actually important, and I think it's happening in Mizoram. That's a great thing. And for the audience, I think it's great to see that he's, in last 3 consecutive posting, he was heading the IT in the state. that to J&K, then Ladakh, and now here in Mizoram. So all those critical states. So that's going to be a very, very, I'll say, important to hear your views on that. But I'm coming to, you were talking about the cybercrime,
Yes.
and you mentioned about the cybercrime police station that got set up in Ezabal. I think that got set up in 2022, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Again, when we were trying to understand that how it's happening, this police station has the state-wise jurisdiction. And second, it has a lot of capability in terms of forensics investigation. It is collaborating with other states as well.
Yeah, we have a forensic lab also set up in
Correct.
Mizoram.
I think that's the cyber lab inside the forensics.
Yeah. The cyber crime related exclusive dedicated forensics lab. So, and just to add on, also we face little bit of challenge. You see, financial frauds always have been prevalent. And now, unfortunately, with digital arrest kind of terminology coming up, and they are taking the advantage of ignorance of citizens. Like they pose and themselves to be from top agencies like CBI and all that. And recently, major cases have come up, like we have seen in Mumbai about that lady, very unfortunate case, and similar kind of cases in which they would keep people under constant arrest. We were grappling with the challenge of financial fraud, and this thing came up. But in financial fraud also, we had some kind of issue related to court's jurisdiction, which has now been sorted out. Suppose the victim's money we recover also, but it was not being allowed to be defreezed, because, those criminals would have conducted frauds in simultaneously 2-3 states. So, which state had to get preference, and those issues have been sorted out. Like every time things happen and strategies get involved, and ultimately things come to a popular, mostly I found that apart from, cryptocurrency and dark web relating, I told you in 17, I thought this thing came up there. So similarly, in our side, I can quote you few kind of things in Northeast, how things are happening. They sometimes come up with Facebook pages used for gun running, drug smuggling, gold smuggling, and which came to the notice of Mizoram police and us also. And admin was identified and inquired upon, which helped to develop information for catching even drugs. Right. So, the kind of, things they are happening. So similarly, there are complaints like they will try to oppose that they are from the political parties, or they'll try to malign the image of public figures like honorable ministers and all using cyber platforms. But they are being tracked and taken under different sections, and they are being treated accordingly. So what I am trying to tell you, we are constantly in the process of evolution, and I don't say we have reached a state of maturity. As you have been traveling and seeing, nowhere in the world, be it Europe or Middle East or Americas, they still are evolving. Everybody is evolving, because there's a parallel challenge. For these hackers, for these cyber criminals, they also keep working day in and day out. So this is an ever-evolving kind of process. And since the days I specialized in e-governance, I realized that it is constantly evolving. And in the era of artificial intelligence, machine learning, I think we need to be more focused, more vigorous to counter these kinds of challenges. This is what my experience over the years tells.
For sure. And this is definitely true, actually. We cannot think of, and in cybersecurity we say, right, there's no silver bullet. We need to keep evolving. As our adversaries are evolving and leveraging technology, we have to leverage the technology, find out different ways. Particularly in the cybercrime case, if I just double click that site, one is something happen and then we have to respond. So definitely we need to have the infrastructure and the facility, which I think your state already has, and it's improving. But at the same time, the state also, or in general, the ecosystem, I'll say, not just a state, we have to be prepared in terms of preparing our people, the awareness that we are doing, right? At the grassroots level. And that last mile reach can be achieved when the states are active. And I think Mizoram is doing a lot of work. I'll just quote a couple of things that I got to know. Even from the cybercrime perspective, Mizoram Police has hosted one of the 3-day hackathon like we have done here
Yes.
yesterday, they have hosted 3-day hackathon with, I think, the NIT in Mizoram.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so this is one example. And a police taking that kind of effort, definitely it's a fabulous. Apart from that, in terms of awareness and skilling, I'm clubbing both the things actually, which are very prominent, because in cybersecurity we don't elevate the level of skills, and if we don't create the awareness, it's going to be a missing element. So like with NILET, with CDAC, with other agencies, you are doing a lot of work in terms of creating awareness. You are engaging with your universities. Even a couple of your universities are also having cybersecurity courses.
Very
So your thoughts on that, how you are trying to envisioning this thing evolving in future?
Absolutely right, Atul. I think I started with it, and now again I will reiterate the point. It is basically the last mile person sitting in the last village near Bangladesh border or Myanmar border, so as to talk about my Mizoram, or sitting in the last village like Uri in Kashmir, which I was handling previously, or the last village near, I would say, Pangong Lake in Ladakh. I am always focused about the person last mile sitting, and if that person gets defrauded or becomes a victim of cybercrime, how that is to be tackled. And for that, we need to run constant campaigns. Like I'll share an example, like Cyber Jagrukta Divas is being organized every month in Mizoram with the help of all agencies, all organizations. Awareness programs are being constantly conducted there. Church is a major medium there. Sunday church service is very, very prominent. So we have ensured to actually incorporate this thing in their culture, like making people aware through schools, colleges, churches, like what cybercrime is all about, putting up hoardings, and the police through social media handles are being used. So social media handles are very popular. They are being used to spread awareness. You know, this is the in thing. So this is an important way, because we have to make people aware that which call is genuine and which is ingenuine. So I hope now people, you see, at my level, to me or to my counterparts in the police, IG, DG, sometimes messages would be coming. Very common messages, one, two I will share for the knowledge of our august audience, like your power is being cut. Your telephone, this thing, you have to make this payment immediately, contact. So these little, starting from these little things to even larger things, bigger things. So I personally believe that we should be able to distinct between which is fake call and which is genuine call. And we don't have to fall into the trap. And I'm so very happy these days, social media is not all about I would say time pass kind of stuff or nonsensical things, but very mature messages are being coming. Courtesy, I believe all campaigns, what DSCI is doing, what Bharat Sarkar is doing, what CERT-In is doing, everybody is doing. So now people are being shown some examples on Insta or Facebook, like this, some stories are coming up, some reels are coming up, in which some sensible things are coming up, quoting examples that how people are being defrauded. Like actual thing is being given a kind of reel or a story which is attractive, which people will watch. So you have to see the tendency of the public also, what they like and what is the best medium of making them understand. If you start giving a lecture, people will run away. People don't like this way of doing things these days in the world of social media and Instas. So you have to tweak things as per the public taste and flavors to save them only ultimately. So these kinds of tweakings are happening, and I am also roping in some youngsters, and there's a food for thought for everybody. In universities, in schools, hold these competitions. Try organizing some kind of hackathons on these lines also. Create some creative content has to come up to actually counter this cyber crime. And imagine, Atul, what you are working for as director. Would anybody have imagined 2-3 decades ago an organization like DSCI coming up? True. In India, it would have been a wishful thinking. They would have said, what is this? Why cybercrime related this much big gamut? And today, it's a necessity. What you, Vinayak, and the whole team is doing is the need of the hour. I'm so very grateful to you guys to have organized this thing in the capital of the nation, and it is buzzing. The beauty is it is buzzing with people, public, here, there, everywhere, people, and see the importance. Bharat Sarkar is giving its due importance. You had Honorable Secretary here, many times Honorable Minister, and who else other than Honorable Prime Minister, who has been addressing this issue time and again, IT Minister. So see, cyber crime has many nuances which have to be tackled at the ground level, as you rightly said, till the last mile person is touched upon and made to understand in vernacular language using concepts like Bhashini and those things. India is now brimming with so many of options. You only have to utilize them properly. So I think it's high time and make it a regular feature. I would request DSCI also to have a movement towards the states now.
For sure.
Organize in every state. Especially, say, somewhere in the center of northeast, somewhere in the top of north to start with, west, south. So this is how central India. So this is how start the process, because this is unending, ever evolving. And we will be there to support you like a rock always.
Thank you. Thanks for this, and thanks for appreciating this. We have done some activity in northeastern region, especially around the cybercrime. We have done, along with the Ministry of Electronics and IT, we have conducted some of the workshops over there and all those things. But you talked about like bringing the whole ecosystem together. So this would be probably our concluding question here to you. But before that, I would definitely like to acknowledge the effort Mizoram as a state has taken under your leadership around just not creating awareness, just not protecting the infrastructure, but looking at the futuristic view as well. So for you guys, Mizoram as a state is looking at protecting the MSMEs, which is one of the critical segment. So it's not only the individual, it's not only the large companies, the MSMEs in our larger supply chain. And you would know, like almost, if I remember it correctly, somewhere around 27% of the GDP in India is being covered by MSMEs. And that is being taken care by the government in terms of awareness, providing the support. And second important and interesting area is women entrepreneurship, yes, which is being promoted over there. And from the cyber side, they are getting a lot of facilitation. So these are very important things, and kudos to you and your team to do that work. My last question to you is on the collaboration, as you were talking about bringing everyone together, and we'll be more than happy to come to your state and do a few things. But yeah, so overall in cyber, we say collaboration is the key. How we are bringing everyone together, all the stratas, all the different verticals together, learning from each other, finding different ways. As you rightly said, say modus operandi of the adversaries are evolving. We have to find our ways to evolve. And if we find our ways, that is only feasible if we are collaborating. You are not just collaborating within the state or within the country, you are also collaborating outside India and bringing a lot of expertise. So your thoughts on that, and
Yeah. So I set the ball rolling already for you. See, my sitting here is an example of the collaboration we are looking towards. You know, always every state, and Mizoram is not a different state, has dearth of resources. You know, there's always a scope of improvisation. In spite of the challenges we have, like many other states, not only Northeast, but North everywhere. So we require total impetus right from METI to CERTAIN, to DSCI, and many global concerns, organizations. Yesterday, I was attending a wonderful session on health with Vinayak and all. So I invited the agencies who were AISS and all to be there, to feel the difference, to actually understand. I have had the opportunity of handling health sector during peak COVID times in Jammu and Kashmir. I was administrator of associated hospitals, and how we handled, and I know the importance of collaboration. And coincidentally, I happen to be secretary cooperation also, apart from Secretary ICT Mizoram. Okay. So we work in collaboration, like I will share with you. We have a clear-cut vision. Our Honorable Home Minister is coincidentally Cooperation Minister also. So we are now heading towards a different model so far as Mizoram and every place is concerned. We are coming up with MPACs, you know, multi-purpose. agriculture cooperative societies, in which there are 52 line of activities. But I am promoting the big activity, that is provisioning of online services. This is something, and banking services, online banking and all those. So among us, these services, like we have a very good collaborative model already in place. We have very good NABARD support and all those things in cooperation. So what I'm trying to say, even in cooperation, if NABARD would not have been picture, big groups would not have been picture, we would not have been achieving that level of success. Same applies to ICT and IT. So I believe we need to have a collaborative approach, like telcos are also covered by me in Mizoram. All three major telcos, be it Jio or Bharti or BSNL. So they all keep coming to me regularly. I want to involve them because these crimes primarily are through mobile connectivity, through our cell phones, either through messages or through social media. So we need to develop some kind of strategy to actually fight it out. Similarly, I would like to share here that we need to have a total collaborative model so far as DSCI is concerned, CERT-in, and many CDAC, many global level organizations. You have to pitch in, come to the Northeast, because it has its own relevance and strategic importance. If you see all across, you go, so many countries are there, our neighbors' challenges are multifold. And I am even thinking in terms of setting up some kind of, holistic. I had a meeting with Invest India, and we thought that we will create some GCC model there. So, strategic location, Bangladesh and Myanmar, we can supply. So, end-to-end solutions with BPOs and all. So, we can't do it without proper cyber security assessment and systems in place. And I would request that first level of collaboration can start from here only. Like, this is my first step. You guys come up with a full-fledged program for Northeast, especially regarding Mizoram. We'll welcome you with a red carpet. DSCI should prepare some module. You, Vinayak and all are welcome and requested from my side, my ICT minister or Honorable Chief Minister. Please come in and we will have you there to make our people aware, and we'll redevise our strategies. We are done so much, like with CISO, with police station, with cyber forensic lab, and many such things, but still we require super specialization in the field, because you never know, these cyber attacks can put down all your systems with a single go. So we are pushing ahead with the reforms, but we require total collaborative approach, and I'm sure you will be forthcoming in by the time next year we sit here. You would have contributed immensely towards our Northeast cause.
For sure. Thanks for this invitation, and we'll be more than happy to contribute there, actually. Wherever it's feasible, we'll be more than happy to share our knowledge base, what we have here, and whatever effort required.
Thank you.
And probably next year, while we'll be talking about it, we'll be sharing some experiences, what we have done over there. So with this, I'll again say thanks to you for joining us for this, and thank you all of you for hearing us. It's very interesting to listen. This is what's happening at the ground level, actually. You would have heard about this cybersecurity index where India is getting elevated every year, right? ITV index and all. If you just double click that, you will realize a lot of things which are being imbibed over there. It's coming from the grassroots, and that is happening at the state level. All those efforts being taken by, say, Mizoram and a lot of other states, that is getting accumulated and showing that strength at the top. And that's why our ranking every year is getting elevated in the ITU index and all those kind of global rankings. And that a lot of credit goes to the leaders like you and others in the different part of the country. Thanks to you for this, and really, really glad to have you here for this discussion.
It's a pleasure to be here. DSCI is a platform. I resolved to be here to make a difference. You can attend many online virtual conferences, which we are usually attending even at the global platform. But when such a big event is happening at the national level, DSCI has taken such an initiative. It's really to be appreciated, all ends up. And you can share your, mind coming here and what you actually want. So I thought purpose is largely served. Now the ball is in the court of DSCI and all the agencies sitting in the center. And I'm sure we will be more cyber aware, cyber resilient, and attain lot more success in times to come, especially to handle like digital arrest and many kind of cyber crimes which are coming up these days.
For sure.
So thanks for inviting.
Thank you.
Also.
Thanks a lot.